we have a 3-1 lead, so hopefully we don't, you know, blow it. It is tied 2-2 in the top of the 6th. We are in LA, not Anaheim. David Price is on the mound for the Dodgers. My question is Shohei Ohtani on the mound for us? If he is, I'm going to double switch him into right when the time comes to pull him. If he isn't, I am putting him into right field and wherever that spot in the lineup is, right off the jump. Part of me might actually want him pitching, actually.
Let's go down to the field with Heidi Watney for a report on what she took away from her talks with the players.
It looks like Ohtani is
the second baseman.
He was punched out looking at strike 3 last time through.
Let me take a look. Madden Reese is on the mound, and Ohtani's on the bench. So I know exactly what I'm going to do, actually. I can't warm Ohtani up, actually, so that's a problem.
Peterson has a read on it. Looks it into his glove, and there's one gone.
I'll think about how I want to do this, actually.
The center fielder, number 27.
Mike Trout has a home run in this. Ooh, Mike Trout might be World Series MVP at this rate.
Comes in with 6 hits in 30 at-bats. He's taken him deep.
Almost found the gap.
This will not get out there deep enough as it's run down by the right fielder in the alley
now
for
batting,
the second out.
Third baseman, Anthony
Now the first pitch here from Price.
That was a hanger.
He's 2 out double. He missed a home run by a matter of feet. It's off the wall.
You know what? Hold on a second. I need to stop real quick and look at something before I go any further too with this Trevor Story at bat. I'm so mad that Matt Andrees is starting this game. Ohtani hasn't pitched since game 1, and Ohtani, so we look at days off. He had game 2 off, pitching wise. Obviously, he was in the lineup. Game 2 off. Then we had an off day. Then he had game 3 off. Then he had game 4 off. So that'd be 4 days rest. He would have this, you know, as it would be if he were a normal pitching rotation. He would have pitched here in game 5 because of the off day. If we had 5 straight games, he wouldn't be pitching game 5 because he wouldn't have had that off day. But regardless, what I want to do though is I want to look at. Did I somehow fuck up and put Michael Hermosillo in the lineup? No. So why the fuck is Michael Hermosillo in the lineup? There's quite literally no reason for that. Brian Goodwin should be there. And even then, if I had the option, it would be Shohei Ohtani. This game is just so fucked. Sometimes it's the small things, sometimes it's the big things.
Let's go down
back to where we were.
With Heidi Watney for a report on what she took away
remember,
from
second
her
2 out
talks
for
with the
Trevor
players.
Story.
Heidi?
Now batting.
Former division rival, and he likes left-handed pitching.
Trevor Story.
Just missed it.
Center field. Peterson.
See, again, I got good timing on a pitch, and I square it up with a power swing with a guy with that kind of numbers against a left-handed pitcher, and nothing comes of it. It smells like bullshit to me.
The first baseman, Matt Muncy.
I'm going to sit Booker down and warm up Anderson. Keep Ramirez up. And I'll stick with Matt Andrees to start the 6th. And then give him a 1-batter leash. Maybe. Actually, I don't know. Scoring. I'll give him a scoring position leash. Someone gets on second, I'll pull him. If he gives like a single or a walk, then he'll be on the one leash.
The next 0-2. Fastball swung on and missed for the first out.
Nice. How many strikeouts does he have? 6. Yeah, we've been getting a lot of strikeouts this series.
Now batting, center fielder.
Our pitching has not been our strong point. Bullpen's been pretty good, but starting pitching has been our weakest link by a long shot.
Chopper to short. Story picks it up. And
That's a shortstop making that
gets
play.
him. Nice play for the
It's a
out.
pretty play.
The batter, number
This will be his
9.
last batter. He gets the out.
And they start him out away.
And that might be his last batter either way.
High in the air down the right field line.
I mean, part of me almost doesn't want to win this game so Ohtani can pitch game 6.
This is going to wind up a foul ball.
Presumably.
Yeah, you could tell he was ready for another fastball, but the pitcher went to breaking ball, and the hitter just fouls that one off.
Pujols. Put this one
I'm not
away
going to try to
decide his
lose, but
retirement.
I won't be the most upset if I
Just enough in
don't
the next to
win.
hit. And guys,
Leading
7th
off for the
inning
Angels.
already.
Look
Hey,
at David Price doing things in the postseason again. What's his number? Yeah, David Price
The
had a
left
good
fielder,
postseason.
number
this
eight.
one's
Not bad.
been
That's respectable.
flying
Justin
by.
Yeah, I'll agree with
Upton.
that, Ned. That's what you get when both starting pitchers have working.
Okay,
Neither
Upton.
of them have been
Getting it
nibbling
in there.
around the
Oh, I
edges of the
forgot
ball,
to. No,
and they've
I don't know what I
trusted
want to do
their
with
defense to
Ohtani.
make the plays, and they've done
Like,
just that.
Yeah, and it's resulted in a game that could really go either way. And
I really don't know what I
Now
want to do with
batting,
Ohtani.
the first baseman, Albert.
Hey, this guy's
Pujols.
having a big series in the postseason. It looks like to me.
Damn it, Albert. No,
Isn't too
you're
big
supposed
for
to be the
him.
World Series MVP.
Got him.
Ah.
Still right here, having a huge series. Any big leaguer
Now
can
batting,
have their moment
catcher,
mid-May, but to do
Jason
it when it gets cold
Castro.
outside means everything.
now the first pitch here from Price. Bunt attempt, but that'll bounce foul.
I mean, they're shifting him, and he's up against the lefties, so I'm not gonna. You know, like,
Price ready with the 0-1. Now a bunt attempt here.
that's a great one. He'll beat that out.
And the throw is too late. He's on with a beautifully placed bunt single.
Yeah. Okay, I know what I'm gonna do. Yeah. Yeah.
Ladies and
Shohei
gentlemen,
Ohtani.
your
Come on,
attention
pinch
please.
hit here in a big
Pinch
spot.
hitting for the
He's gonna pinch hit
Angels.
here, but then I'm gonna double switch
Number
him into right.
17, Shohei.
Lifted the
Ohtani.
other way.
Get down,
to
get
left
down, get
center.
down, get down, get down.
That's on the run. He can't get there, so the inning will
Okay.
continue.
Boy, so frustrating as a pitcher. You make a quality pitch on the
Up
inside
next for
half
the
of plate
Angels,
right there. Try to
the right
bust him in,
fielder,
Hero, and he fights it
Michael
off the other way.
Yeah, you tip your hat to
Hermosillo.
the pitcher right there. He executed his pitch, but nice job by the offensive player. Fighting. It doesn't matter what it looks like. The knocks him.
Oh, that fell.
And no one can corral that one.
Michael Hermosillo.
Go-ahead run will score from second as they've taken the lead here in the late going.
The
Now
batter,
skipper's
number
on his
9.
way out toward the
Second
home plate
base.
Oh
area.
my God.
That
Tommy
means we're going to have a double switch here.
LaStella.
Here's Tommy LaStella now. It's been a rough go of things at the plate for him
Michael
so far. These guys are
Hermosillo,
looking for him
the
to
go-ahead
change.
RBI base
Yeah,
hit
nothing
in what
better
could
than
be the
coming through
game,
for boys
the
in a
World
tight
Series
game,
winning
Ned,
game.
Especially when you're kind of due to do something productive.
Pulled toward right
Unreal.
center field. Peterson is there, and he'll make the catch to retire this.
So now I'm going to double switch Bedrosian in. Do I want to leave Shohei Ohtani in the game? Yes. For select the position, move Ohtani to right field.
Your attention please.
Come on and take
Now
over
pitching
here, and
for
he'll
the
hit in the
Angels,
leadoff spot following
number
the double
32.
switch.
Can't hit any more pitches.
Cam
Shohei Ohtani
Bedrosian.
stay in the game, taking over in right and batting number 9. And he
Leading
starts
up
the
for
number
the
8 hitter with
Dodgers.
a strike, nothing in
The
Bottom of the
catcher.
7th, I will run with
Well.
Kyle
Say,
Buttrey
I'm going to put you in position
and
to be
Hansel
successful.
Robles.
Well, against the modern-day bullpen, easier said than done. These guys are throwing flames from all arm angles.
behind 0-2 now. Got him swinging on the split finger pitch, and that's out number 1.
Nice job there taking care of the leadoff hitter via the strikeout. I'll tell you.
Now batting,
One-run game,
second baseman,
Whew, that's not a
He
not a
cares.
good slider. That's a scary
First
slider.
guy so important.
Hernandez.
It changes the whole complexion of the inning. So that is a big out.
And this misses the outside corner, so it's knotted up at 1-1. Hit in the air to left. Upton's under it. 2 gone.
I mean, this play's going to go well. You know, that's what I like about having a series like LA versus
Now
LA, because
batting,
you're going to have
third base.
fans of both teams at every game. You know, it could be 50-50 player base split.
First pitch, Hackett
Maybe a
here,
little bit
and
more
that's the
beneficial
first
to each
strike.
home team still, but you know, you're going to have plenty of Angels
Well
fans here if
behind
the
that
Angels
fastball.
win.
It's a swinging strike. Very tight ball game. 3-2 our score in inning number 7. Rendon is calling for it. And that's the 3rd out. Dodgers ready to begin the 8th.
Leading
and
off
that'll
for the
bring
Angels,
Mike Trout to
the
the
center
dish.
fielder,
So
number
far, 2
27.
for 3 in this one.
Mike Trout.
Damn, I was
Here
really
drifting
expecting a
out to
fastball.
shallow center. And this
So when I
is
saw the
called
knuckle
in
curve,
on
I
the
was like,
run
oh, that
for
might
the
come back
out,
over the
and he
plate.
had a lot of ground to cover to get to that one.
I just wasn't. It wasn't
Now
on.
batting, third
Digging
baseman.
in and looking for more,
Anthony
Anthony Rendon. It
Rendon.
was an RBI double for him in his last turn to the plate. Ready to deliver. Here's the first pitch.
Ball one, no strike.
Good take.
Now some action in that Dodger bullpen as a left-hander has begun to get loose. Back up the middle and in for a base hit. Running hard, he's digging.
What a
for
bobble.
second. And he's safe.
Rendon taking second on the E8. Get fucked, Jack
Now
Peterson.
batting, shortstop.
Hit Mookie in left.
Trevor
That's dumb.
Story.
And that brings in the power-hitting shortstop,
1-0.
Trevor Story. 1-0 the count.
Story's been kind of off.
Hard
in the
liner, but
series.
picked up on a hop.
Out.
And that's the second out.
Okay. Big insurance at third with 2 outs. We need you to come through here, Upton.
Now batting, left fielder.
Coming to the plate now,
Justin
Upton.
Which means you
Upton.
definitely
Steps in
won't.
off a base hit in his last at-bat. Looking to keep this a one-run game. The pitch. According to the career numbers on the back of his baseball card, Upton is certainly
Joe Kelly
one of the
pitching in the
right
eighth inning of
guys
Game
to
5
have
in
at
the
the
World
plate
Series
this
in Dodger
spot.
Stadium.
The long ball would be huge.
Sounds
and he's
familiar.
hit more than 300 of them in his career.
Nope, that's down.
Oh, yeah, when he knocked the donut off his bat on the on-deck circle, Matty, that was the only thing that was on his mind. He's been in this situation multiple times in his career. The moment will not get too big for him. He knows how to slow it down. Don't be shocked if he leaves Earth right here.
2-1 to count.
Damn.
Just behind the fastball there. 2 strikes now.
What I love right there is just the freedom in that hack. He ain't trying to do anything but hit the baseball as far as he can.
This one's outside.
Oh,
Quite a bit
walking
off
for
the plate that
Pujols.
time.
You know he's probably
Walking
cheating
for
on that inside pitch
Pujols.
after
I'm surprised they
he got
didn't
jammed
intentionally walk
earlier.
him just straight
if
up.
you're on the mound
you know,
right now,
just
you
do it
want to
anyways,
try to
but
hit that outside corner. There's a pretty good chance you'll get him to roll over some.
Please, Albert.
And he missed with it
Please,
there. Ball
Albert.
4. It's a
Now
2-out
batting,
walk with
the
the runner
first
still
baseman.
at third.
Albert Pujols.
First pitch of the at-bat. And he takes
That's a
ball
great pick.
strike,
I can't do
0-1.
anything with that. Probably
No
the only
problem
person I
with
want
that
being
take
World Series
right
MVP
there.
more than Shohei
First pitch
Ohtani.
from a reliever,
Albert
got to
Pujols.
calibrate that velocity.
Pujols, Ohtani, Trout. That's what I want for World Series
The
MVP.
0-1 offering.
That's a ball.
Well, while I'm at it, might as well check this. Okay. Let's see what Time Hop's got for me. Time Warp, a weekly newsletter with every bit of pop culture nostalgia for your Throwback Thursday. Yeah, whatever. I'll sign up for it. Check every bit of pop culture nostalgia with Richard Brooks every Throwback Thursday. Why only every Thursday? I don't give a shit. I would rather have it every day. But here's my email address. Oh, that's not a period. That's a comma. Whoops. Every bit of pop culture. Okay, thanks for signing up. Check your email to confirm your subscription. That's fucking funny. Shit, where's that group?
Iced coffee, the most important meal of the day.
Oh my god, the level of basic. Okay.
Told not to swear, but I fucking love the Bruins. Wow, that was just too easy. Yo, that was fucking easy though. Alright, there's the pinata, bud. Woo! Yeah, it's right there. Swing. Let's see it strike. Ow! Oh! Oh! Alright, there's the pinata, bud. Be careful. Alright, Reed. Alright, Reed's up, Reed. Feel it. You want? You felt it? You felt it? Come on, man. Ramirez, baby. Yep. Swing hard, baby. Oh! You got a bump, dude. Feel it again. Feel it again. You felt it? You felt it? He sees it. He sees it. Alright, now. Come on.
Okay. Enough time out. Just get through it. Okay.
This one, everything we could have hoped for. 3-2 in inning number 8.
Oh, Albert! Albert Pujols!
Lots of carry on this one.
3-run home run! The machine in what could be his final at bat.
Albert Pujols with a 3-run homer. His second home run of the series as they open it up to 6-2 now.
I think Albert Pujols is World Series
attention,
MVP.
please.
He's hitting 500 in the
Now
damn
pitching
thing.
for the Dodgers.
But it was
Number
anybody's
56.
guess whether
Oh
the
my God, we have a
Adam.
4-run lead.
That is,
Go,
until it
Larry.
comes off the top of the foul pole. No
I should have
question or
punted. Oh, well.
controversy now. That's an impressive home run.
And he'll lunge out of the crouch.
Oh my God. Okay, so I'm changing my pick for World Series MVP
Leading
to
off
Albert. I'm going to go
for the
title
Dodgers.
trigger here.
Going here.
I'm going to go Albert Pujols for World Series MVP.
Corey.
Bullpen in the bottom half of the
Seager.
eighth.
And honestly, I think top 3 for postseason MVP. I think Trout gets postseason MVP. I think Pujols gets World Series MVP. I think Ohtani goes second, Trout goes third for World Series. I think it's the other way around. Trout gets postseason MVP with Ohtani second, Pujols third.
First pitch.
Now batting, left field.
Unfucking believable.
But he just
Set.
missed his extra base. One out.
Albert Pujols' potential final at bat, a 3-run home run in the World Series that ends up being the final nail in the coffin to win it.
Now batting, right fielder.
So here's Cody.
Cody.
That's killed it this postseason.
Bellinger.
Bellinger,
Sure.
his average is still there despite the fact that he's been
working on
striking out a
1 for
lot
3
in this
thus
series.
far. And it's quickly 0-2. Oh, and they pulled a string on a good changeup there as he swings and misses, and he's set down on strikes for the second
That just
time
made my
tonight.
life.
Now batting, first baseman.
Slung through the strike
Matt
zone that time at 98.
Muncy.
Oh,
looks
get
like
fooled,
if this
nerd.
video may be in order after that hack. It's 0-2 now.
Hey, I can't have one of my best left-handed power bats fishing for balls off the plate.
And Trout will make the catch, and that ends the
Now
inning.
this is perfect too.
Dodgers lead. Shohei Ohtani digging in next.
Leading off for the Angels,
Ohtani gets one more
The
at
right
bat. I wish it
fielder.
was against the righty, but
Joe
Ready to
Hay.
deliver. Here's the first pitch.
Ohtani.
he may just swing
Kick
for the
off
fences.
tonight's inning
the
with a
count.
Why
swinging
not?
strike here, 0-1. Pilara is adjusting to the new normal as MLB now mandates that relievers reach the end of an inning or face 3 or more batters before being replaced. For a one-time lefty
Damn.
specialist like this, that's a big change.
He's
An
out.
off-balance throw is in time as he takes one away. Wow.
It's a lefty. 73-60 or 82. I'm gonna go Simmons because I feel bad for him.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Simmons.
your attention
Into
please.
the on-deck circle now
Pinch
to try
hitter
to get
for the
something
Angels.
started here with one
Number
gone in the
2,
inning.
Andrelton Simmons.
Swinging a soft liner. Throw on the first
He's
pitch.
out.
Shit, actually, I
And the
fucked
top
up.
of the ninth is proving unfruitful thus far. Too quick
The
outs
batter,
there.
number 9,
They're out
second
of-
baseman.
In now, Tommy
Tommy
LaStella. It was a
La
fly
Stella.
out for him in his last trip. He's ready. Here's the first offering. This is skied out toward right. Giving
He's
chase
actually
is
hit pretty
Bellinger.
far for a pitch that I didn't think I
He
got any
tracks it
solid
down,
piece
and
on.
that will end the
Okay.
inning.
Now what I want to do is fuck. I guess he's got the best speed here. 58 fielding. Ooh, okay, I think Justin Anderson. Justin Anderson. Put in the game.
Your
Justin
attention
Anderson,
please.
the right-handed
Now
pitching
reliever
for the
standing
Angels.
6'3", gets the
Number
ball now out of the
38.
bullpen.
Justin
Standing in,
Anderson.
Jock
Ah,
Peterson.
fuck.
And obviously, they'll need a ninth-inning rally here if this series is going to make it to a Game 6.
Can't even do that. I'm not so I did fuck up. Alright, well I just need
Here's the
Anderson in the
first
face.
pitch.
No, that's low.
Thinking I'll do this.
The 1-0.
Hey!
Ball and a strike.
This sucks. I don't want to walk the bases loaded.
Now a big fastball.
One
and
ball,
he's well
two
behind it
strikes.
with the swing.
Hey, that's a well-executed pitch right there. That might have started middle, but you saw it breaking
Afraid
away
of
to
that.
that outer part of the zone. This left-handed batter
Okay.
right here has got 2 decisions to make. Is he going to ground out to second base all
Your
day,
attention,
or is he
please.
gonna drive the ball the other
Pinch
way?
hitting for the
Out of
Dodgers.
the chase out of the zone
Number
that
3,
time. Jock Peterson
Brett
is sent packing for
Taylor.
the first out in the bottom of the ninth.
Do
And
that.
they'll issue the intentional walk here. Interesting decision with the bases empty and one away.
And that.
now batting.
Stepping up now,
The catcher.
Will Smith.
Will
Bounced back after striking
Smith.
out his last time up. Into the
We're
box,
here.
Kike Hernandez. And these guys are making
batter
a little
number
push
14.
here.
Swap
Have to like
positions.
the
Second
effort
baseman.
Despite the odds.
Kike.
Really do, man.
And
Look,
then
they
the
still
third
have a
Hernandez.
significant hill to climb, but hey,
Ladies and
they
gentlemen,
string a couple of
your
hits together
attention,
here,
please.
and all of a sudden this thing
This
feels
change
doable.
defensively
Brian
for the
Goodwin
Angels.
is into the game
0-1.
as a
Now
defensive
playing right
replacement
field.
now as he takes
Number
over in right.
18.
It's
I
becoming
want
more
Ohtani getting the last
common
out
today's
stand.
game to see relievers like this that can run it up there close to 100 miles per hour.
Oh no 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 no! Fuck!
Sent out toward the gap. Back goes Trout. To the track.
I almost just rage
To the
quit, but I
wall.
can't erase
And
Pujols' three-run
goodbye.
shot in
This
this
one
game.
ain't coming back. At the plate, Justin Turner.
Now
Fuck, that
batting.
really.
Third
Okay, well,
baseman.
Otani's no longer in the running for World Series
Justin.
MVP after that. That
Oh
sucks.
yeah, you want a piece
Turner.
of me? Here you go, and he deposits a 3-run bomb in the seats.
I'm
Don't
mad.
think about that twice next
Up
time.
next for the Dodgers.
Next at
The
the plate will be
shortstop,
Corey Seager.
Corey
And their season hangs in the
Seager.
balance.
I
I think he still has a
They're
chance at
down to their
postseason
final
MVP
out.
nominations, but
The
Trout's gonna get
0-1.
it.
I got 1 ball, 1 strike.
Fuck, dude, that's so shitty. Because he didn't pitch at all in the LCS.
Taking called strike 2, and
So
now
this
they're
is
down
only
to
his
their
one
final
and two.
strike tonight. The Dodgers down to their final strike.
Light that baby up!
Out, and it's over. They are World Series champions.
The Angels are World Series champions.
Wow! World Series champions. The only thing that could have made this sweeter would have been doing it in front of the home crowd. But hey, they're not complaining, believe me. Now they can look forward to celebrating during the parade as they bring the World Series trophy home. What a moment for this team, this organization, and that city.
Nice.
Back now on the show. It's all over, and you see the reactions there to the final out.
Anyway, Goodwin gets to come in from right and, run in with the team, because he deserves it with the year he had, too. Ohtani was able to pitch the final out.
And down on the field, we'll get a chance to watch the presentation of the Commissioner's Trophy to the new world champs.
Shit. Disgusting. Wash your mouth. It's actually not right. Shit.
Wow, Ohtani actually got credited for a save. It's bullshit that he didn't before. And how? Because he, no, because how does he get credited for a save? Because he created the save situation for himself. I mean, technically he didn't allow 2 of those 3 runs, but still. And actually, that just occurred to me, too, that he only gave up 1 of those 3 runs. So his numbers aren't too fucked by it. Okay, but that's it. Finished with a grade of A+, unbelievable. A record of 123 and 39. Taking a look at the chart. Started off pretty decent, really biggest stretches were between game 40 and 60, 60 and 80, and then the hugest one of the year was a little bit before game 100, probably 95, to about game 115. Looks like we had like a 20-game winning streak almost there. And then just, for the most part, just long. I'm going to take a look at the franchise after, but and then one final look at the standings. The East went to the Yankees, the Central went to the Indians with 100 wins, and then the West belonged to us. The wild card went to the A's and the Rays, which, I mean, the A's won 109 games. By the way, we were ranked, I think, 18th overall for the ranking and the circle there. Whatever it was, I know it was in the high teens. We finished 5th. 22nd in speed, 8th in contact, 7th in power, 9th in pitching's a little bit of a surprise, 4th in defense. A very well-rounded team, top 5 in baseball on paper. Looking at the NL, the Nationals took the East, the Cubs took the Central, and the Dodgers took the West with 107 wins. The wild card went to the Braves and the Brewers. Nothing too shocking there. Player boosts. Julio Torrejon was a no-hit opportunity right at the end of the year. Anthony Rendon was a regular, player boost. Trevor Story was through a trade. Mike Trout was the other regular player boost. Alex Wood was through a trade. Matt Andrees was a call-up. David Fletcher was a regular one. So we had 7 player boosts, right? Torrejon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7 player boosts. So that was cool. We'll take a look at the stats. Taking a look at the Angels stats, starting with the pitchers. Griffin Canning did pitch in 1 inning, actually. He pitched in 1 inning, struck out 3 batters, and gave up a hit. Or a walk. What did he do? He gave up a hit. Okay. So 1 inning for the postseason and for Griffin Canning. Dylan Bundy was terrible in the postseason. He pitched 3 1/3 innings, struck out 7, which was okay. But he also had an ERA of 10.80 and a whip of 1.50. So in those 2 appearances that he made, he gave up 5 hits, 4 runs, 2 home runs in 3 1/3 innings. That's not good at all. Ryan Buchter pitched 3 innings. He didn't give up any runs. Struck out 4 guys. He walked 1. This is 3 across 3 appearances. So he pitched an inning each, it seems. 1 hold. Gave up 4 hits. Justin Anderson pitched 3 2/3 innings. He walked 2 batters, struck out 7, had an ERA of 7.36. That seems kind of off because I feel like I did well with him. But a whip of .82. Oh, his ERA is probably high because of those 2 runs that. Okay, yeah. So he made 4 appearances across 3 and 2/3 innings. He only gave up 1 hit. Should have been 1 earned run, so his numbers would have been a lot lower. Yeah, that sucks. Oh, you can see postseason WAR. Damn. Okay. So Alex Wood had. Okay, yeah, we'll look at that after. I didn't realize you could see WAR. Maybe just for pitchers, but Cam Bedrosian. Cam Bedrosian is a guy who really I thought was terrible at first. He did not have a good year from what I remember, and then in the postseason when I did go to him, he sucked at first, and he really earned my respect. Pitched 7 innings out of the bullpen. Walked 1 guy, struck out 10, a 1.29 ERA, and a .43 WHIP. He had 6 appearances for me. I think he was my most called upon bullpen arm. 3 holds. He only gave up 2 hits. Only gave up 1 run, and it was a home run. So that's actually really good. Hansel Robles, the former closer turned setup man. I went to him 5 times for 5 innings, 14 strikeouts, a 3.60 ERA, and a .8 WHIP. ERA is up there. He only gave up 4 hits, so he gave up 2 runs in 5 innings. Ty Buttrey was lights out for me. My closer made 4 appearances, 3 saves, struck out 7, didn't give up any runs whatsoever. A .25 WHIP because he gave up 1 hit. Didn't walk anyone though. Noah Ramirez. I don't really recall using him if we're being honest. I mean, I know I did at least once, but he pitched 5 innings, walked 1 guy, struck out 8. He made 5 appearances. A 5.4 ERA and a 1.0 WHIP. He gave up 4 hits, 3 runs in 5 innings. Matt Andrees pitched 10 in the 3rd innings. So Matt Andrees started 2 games against my will. I would have loved for him to be in the bullpen. But whatever. He wasn't the worst. He pitched 10 in the 3rd innings. He walked 2 batters, struck out 13, a 3.4. Let's see. So in 2 starts, he gave up 14 hits, 6 runs, 4 of which were earned, 1 home run. Like that's not bad. 3.48 ERA, 1.55 WHIP. Obviously, could be better. Shohei Ohtani as a pitcher killed it, absolutely killed it. Went 2-0 and a save. Pitched 18 and 2/3 innings. Struck out 30 batters in the postseason. Good for 2 starts. I'm sorry. He pitched in Game 1 of the ALDS and Game 1 of the World Series, and then his only other appearance was that the end of Game 5. So he only got 18 and 2/3 innings pitched. I wish he pitched a full other game. He would have had the most innings. Most likely, at least, he would have came close to Andrew Heaney. But he only gave up 8 hits, 2 runs, 2 home runs. Good for WAR .9. Good for an ERA of .96, and good for a WHIP of .43. Alex Wood pitched in, I think, only 2. No, it had to have been 3 games because 20 innings. Alex Wood pitched in 3 games. So he was my. It was just all over the place. I honestly don't even know what games he started. I think he started Game 3 in the ALDS, 2 in the ALCS, and then 3 in the World Series. I honestly don't know. But he gave up 16 hits, 4 runs across 3 starts. The hits are a little high, but I mean, not really, I guess, because look at the ERA for 1.80, WHIP of .85, pretty good. Andrew Heaney was terrible. I don't know why he was as up there as he was. He pitched in 4 games. He went 2-2. He was credited for 2 of the losses. Granted, the Game 4 World Series loss was bullshit, but he still pitched terribly. He pitched 25 innings. He walked 2 guys. He struck out 28, but in those 4 starts, he gave up 30 hits and 16 runs, 15 of which were earned. That's terrible for the postseason. When you're only pitching 25 innings to give up 16 runs, or whatever it was. 16 runs, yeah. For an ERA of 5.40 and a 1.28 WHIP. That's just not good. Julio Torrejon really stepped up. Went 3-0 in his starts. Walked 2, struck out 33. He only gave up 5 runs. He gave up 15 hits. Good for a WHIP of 2.14 and a ERA of 2.14 and a WHIP of .81. Now let's look at the position players. Does Ohtani show up as a position player? He doesn't, so I'm going to have to look at him offensively. I might as well, since we were already here. So I gotta scroll like all the way down, I believe. Okay, so Ohtani had 37 at bats. He scored 7 runs. I don't know. I don't think he was in the lineup in game 1 or 2. Yeah, I don't. I think he was only. I don't. No, he was definitely in one of the lineups, or I injected him in there. I don't know. Either way, he had 37 at bats in the postseason. Scored 7 runs. He got 12 hits. Hit 2 home runs, 6 RBIs. Good for an average of 324. 3 doubles. GC offensive WAR. Not that it matters. So like his offensive numbers are okay. You know, nothing amazing, but pretty good. 12 hits and 37 at bats. It's a 324 average. 2 dingers, 6 RBIs, 7 runs on the base paths. So that alone, I wouldn't say is, oh man, he deserves to be talked about as a postseason MVP candidate, but because of his pitching numbers along with it. Also, quick shout out to Alex Wood. I want to look at Alex Wood's offensive numbers too, because this guy went and had 4 at bats and he got 3 hits. He scored 2 runs and he got 2 RBIs. You know, no other pitcher got an RBI except for Ohtani, who I don't necessarily count. So position players. Max Stassi didn't play at all. David Fletcher was in, I think, game 1 of the ALDS against my will. He had 3 at-bats. He didn't do anything. Matt Thaiss, same deal. He played in game 1 of the ALDS against my will. He had 4 at-bats, and he got a base hit. He got a double. He had a double. Cool. Michael Hermosillo was also, for whatever reason, in the lineup against my will in games 3, 4, and 5 of the World Series. Despite the fact, I don't know how or why, but whatever. He had 8 at-bats. He got 3 hits, and he scored a run, and he ended up getting an RBI. So good for him, I guess. Andrelton Simmons, poor Andrelton Simmons had 11 at-bats, only because I traded for Trevor Story, made him DH. So he was in the lineup whenever Ohtani wasn't. And then the occasional pinch hitter. He got 3 hits, you know, in 11 at-bats. That's it. Nothing special. Brian Goodwin, my starting right fielder up until games 3, 4, and 5 of the World Series, because for whatever reason, instead of having him in the lineup until I would pinch hit Ohtani, they had Hermosillo. So Brian Goodwin was relegated to the bench with the occasional pinch hit duty. But either way, in the postseason overall, he had 48 at-bats. He got 13 hits for a 271 average, 2 home runs, 11 RBIs, and 4 runs scored. Not bad. Albert Pujols, I cannot say enough about the performance that this man put on, and I think he deserves conversation for postseason MVP, and I think he's got to be the World Series MVP. He had 52 at-bats. He got 20 hits for a 385 average. For a guy with 0 speed, he scored 12 times when he got on base, hit 4 home runs, 15 RBIs. This man is 40 years old, completed his 20th year in the MLB, and what could be his last season, in his last game, in his last at-bat, the man hit a 3-run home run to get his 3rd ring. I think he retires on that note. Trevor Story, the trade deadline acquisition, he was kind of just there. He was alright in the beginning of the postseason, started to really fall off towards the end. Had 59 at-bats. He still got 20 hits for a 339 average. 4 home runs, 8 RBIs, scored 13 runs on the base paths. Pretty decent. Jason Castro. Castro really kind of heated up in the postseason. Towards the beginning, at least. Towards the end, he was kind of falling off too. But 51 at-bats. He had 15 hits, so a 294 average. 2 home runs, 9 RBIs. 10 runs scored. I also did bunt with him a lot, so I don't know. Justin Upton, I'm surprised Upton's average is as high as he felt like he was just kind of there. 54 at-bats, he had 20 hits for a 370 average. He's tied for the most hits with Story and Pujols in the postseason. Scored 9 runs on the bases, 3 home runs, 7 RBIs. Anthony Rendon, another one who's kind of just there. 55 at-bats, 17 hits. I mean, a 309 average is definitely great. 11 runs scored, 4 home runs is good, 12 RBIs is good. Like that's really good, but he just kind of felt like he was there for the most part. I mean, he did do some clutch stuff. Mike Trout, I think, is going to be obviously the postseason MVP. In 51 at bats, he had 17 hits, so he didn't have the highest average. He had a 333 average, but he had 7 home runs, 12 RBIs, 15 runs scored. Rendon also stole 2 bases. I'm surprised Trout didn't, but whatever. And then Tommy La Stella. In 57 at bats, La Stella actually really did not do good. 57 at bats, he only had 13 hits, 228 average, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, 5 runs. Not bad, but whatever. Let's take a look at the season stats for people, starting with Griffin Canning, an A potential 78 overall, 23-year-old. I was expecting more from him coming into the season. I didn't coming into that. I didn't know who he was. Didn't know he was on the team. Let me get this. Oh, that grated me. Okay. Sorry about that. So I didn't really expect. I didn't know Canning was a thing. Like, I didn't know he was a person. So I didn't know that the Angels had this kid with great potential, with a decent overall already for a starting pitcher. When I saw him, I was expecting some pretty solid things out of him because of the way player progression usually goes in these March to Octobers. Do I think he's got potential still? Like, do I think he could be great? Yeah. Was he good for me this year? No. In 26 games, I had to relegate him to the bullpen. He started 22. He went 14-5. The win-loss was okay. 142 and a third innings pitched, and 152 strikeouts. Like, not bad. But the ERA was 5, and the WHIP was 1.36. The WHIP is okay. The WHIP could be better, but that's all right. The ERA is not good, though. 5 ERA is not good. Pitching WAR 2.2 is what it is with Canning. Dylan Bundy, same deal. When I saw Dylan Bundy on the team, I thought to myself, I didn't realize Dylan Bundy was only 27 and been around for 5 years. But when I saw Dylan Bundy, I thought to myself, okay, here's someone that is okay. Like, he's decent enough. I think he could. I thought maybe, okay, like, when I saw the names in the rotation, I thought, ooh, I can work with this. Ohtani is the ace. I've got Terehan, or Andrew Heaney. Okay, so I was thinking Ohtani, Heaney, and I thought Heaney would be good. Terehan, I thought Terehan would bounce back, and I thought Bundy and Canning, and then Canning could probably bump himself all the way up to third at least, if not second, based on these guys. And then when I saw Matt Andrees come up, I thought, okay, here's a guy that could spot start, be my long relief guy in the bullpen. So again, Dylan Bundy, did I expect some stuff from him? Yeah. Did I get it from him? Not at first. He was terrible as a starter. He played in 43 games. He only started 7 games. 10-4 record overall. 1 save, 1 blown. 137 and 2/3 innings pitched. He did a lot better once he went to the bullpen because his numbers as a starter were god awful. His ERA was just about as high as Canning's, if not higher. He was somewhere in the 5 to 7 range. 127 strikeouts still out of the bullpen for the most part, not bad. 3.79 ERA. That's all right. The WHIP could be better. Again, not the worst, but could be better. 1.40. Good for WAR 2.3. Worth the contract? I don't know, maybe. But he definitely came around. I thought he was gonna have worse numbers, so I guess moving to the bullpen was definitely helpful. Ryan Buchter. I didn't really use him too much. Wasn't a fan of using him. I did not know he played in San Diego. It's weird that his picture has San Diego because he hasn't played in San Diego since 2016, maybe 2017, but he spent the last 2 years in Oakland. Buchter. Oh, hold on. Canning got his overall up to 78. Yeah, Bundy got his to 77. Buchter got his to 74. I thought he was better than that. I think last year he was in the 80s for me when he was with Oakland. I didn't use him because I'm not the biggest fan of him. His pitching motion. He was a part of a really good bullpen in Oakland last year, and their Oakland March to October last year had a really great bullpen. I didn't use him too much. I don't know how he did. If we're being honest, in 39 games, He didn't win any, but he only lost one. Didn't save any. Blew 4 saves. Held 16 games. Pitched 35 innings. Only gave up 11 runs. Only 1 yard. Only got taken deep 3 times. Struck out 45 guys. 2.83 ERA. 1.14 WHIP. That's yeah, 0.8 WAR. I'd say he's worth the contract. He's 33 years old. Wow. Yeah, he was all right, I guess. You know, computer liked him because like I said, didn't really use him too much. So I'll take that out of him though. Justin Anderson, for me, got his overall up to 72. His walks per 9 is extraordinarily low, and his control is. I thought he was pretty good though. I liked using him. The computer not so much, but I did. Pitched in 21 games. He went 3-1. No saves, no blown, 4 holds. Only pitched 21 and 2/3 innings. Struck out 34 guys. So his CRA was high, 4.57, but his WHIP was good, 1.15. Good for a WAR 0.4. Definitely worth the contract. It's still in his arbitration years. So definitely take that out of him too. A guy who's in the low 70s. His ERA could have been better, but everything else was alright. Cam Bedrosian got his overall up to 80. Cam Bedrosian went gold. Pretty well-rounded attributes, actually. Not bad. Only 28. 5 years in the bigs. I think he could even get a little bit better. He's only got 3 pitches, though. Did not have a good year, though, as far as I'm aware. The computer was not a fan of him. I didn't use him too much because of his numbers, but when I did, I enjoyed his pitching motion, and he really came through in the postseason. 30 games, he got 2 wins, 1 loss, 6 saves, 1 blown, 9 holds, 27 1/3 innings pitched, struck out 32 guys. His ERA was 5.27, and his WHIP was 1.50. Those are not good numbers. Those are bad numbers. His WAR was 0.5 somehow. Those are not good numbers. That's not worth the contract at all. So yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Hanzo Robles, interesting one here. His overall went up to 81, so he's gold. I believe he was gold to start the year. I was expecting pretty good things out of him too, and I just didn't really get it. Like, he wasn't bad, but he just wasn't as I expected. 41 appearances, he won 1 game, 3 losses, 18 saves, 6 blown, 15 holds, 38 1/3. Because after the trade deadline, I bumped him to setup. 38 1/3 innings pitched, struck out 46. His ERA was only 3.52. Like, that's not bad. That's okay. The WHIP is pretty solid, 1.17, 1.1 WAR. You know, I wish he was my closer and did better, though. So, like, that's alright, but that's not what you want from a closer. In turn, this man became my closer. Ty Buttrey, his overall went up to 79, and at one point, I believe, was 80. His attributes are pretty well-rounded, too. And he was pretty good for me. He was great for me. I think probably my best bullpen arm. 33 appearances, no wins, 1 loss, 20 saves, 1 blown, 11 holds, 32 2/3 innings pitched. The man was lights out in October. Only gave up 8 earned runs, 44 strikeouts. So a 2.20 ERA is really good, and a .80 WHIP is also really good. A 1.1 WAR, take that, worth every penny. Ty Buttrey, huge guy to have at the back end of the bullpen in 2020 for the Angels. Noah Ramirez, interesting one. Overall went up to 77. I know he was with the Red Sox a couple of years ago, so again, it's weird that his picture is Boston when he has spent 3 years with LA now. Like, you think we could get on that, but I guess not. 48 appearances, and holy shit, he was good. 2 wins, 1 loss, 6 saves, 1 blown, 15 innings or 15 holds, 54 innings pitched. So probably my most used bullpen arm, and he actually only gave up 32 hits. Only gave up 8 earned runs, struck out 66 guys. I stand corrected. Noah Ramirez was my best bullpen arm in 2020. A 1.33 ERA is filthy. A .78 WHIP is filthy. 1.4 WAR is great. Worth every penny of his contract. And really just dependable. Consistent, dependable. Great to have. That was incredible. Matt Andrees was a call-up. This overall didn't move, apparently stayed 78. See, now to me, 64 stamina isn't really like, it's so in the middle, like long relief starting. Like, you could spot start him or like use him on like a bullpen day to still eat like 4 or 5 innings, but you don't want your starter to have stamina that low. But he was all right. I couldn't decide like if I wanted him to start or not because of his stamina. So I kept bouncing him from bullpen to long relief. But either way, he made 22 appearances, 10 of which were starts. Whoops. 9-2 record. 99 2/3 innings pitched. If he recorded one more out in the regular season, he would have cracked triple digits. Damn. Struck out 118 though. That's a career high. 3.25 ERA is respectable, and 1.14 WHIP is pretty good. 2.2 WAR. You know, I'll take that from him. That's all right. That's pretty good. I'm happy with that. Actually, I'm surprised, but I'm happy. I'm gonna save. Nah, I might as well just keep going because no one really in my starting rotation was good. Looking at Ohtani, as a pitcher, I'll save his. Actually, I'll look at them both. First, looking at him as a pitcher though, I'm surprised his walks and home run, like his walks, home runs, clutch, and control are all low. But his overall is 87, so Ohtani's diamond. But I think that might be more because of this, because he's a decent fielder with an incredible arm who's got pretty solid speed and can really hit against righties and can hit okay against lefties. Is he worth his contract? Oh my God, wait, you mean he's signed for the minimum? I believe that's the minimum. I figured he would have signed for more. But again, A potential, he's only 25. His pitching was terrible this year though. Coming back from Tommy John surgery, his pitching was awful. His pitching was alright in 2018, but this year he made 34 appearances, 33 of which were starts. 16-8, so the win-loss isn't bad. 197 and third innings pitched, and he struck out 310. So the strikeouts were there. That's a good year. Anytime you crack 300 strikeouts, you had an incredible year, making people fan and whiff. But a 5.79 ERA and a 1.65 WHIP, those are just downright bad numbers. His WAR was still 5.1, but those are just downright bad numbers. Like, you can't give up. Like, that's bad. These are bad. This is incredible. These are terrible. So it's so weird to see. Oh, and then yeah, I might as well look at his offensive numbers too since I'm here. So offensively speaking, he didn't play 100 games. He only played 99 games. I couldn't control that, which sucked. But probably I'd say probably his best year at the dish so far. Maybe, I don't know. It's tough to tell. Only 99 games, so his plate appearances were cut by just about 100 on average, but well over 100 compared to last year. 13 home runs, 44 RBIs, stole 3 bags, 325 average. Offensively, good for a WAR of 2.0. So it's interesting to see like what are they going to do to calculate his overall WAR between pitching, because 6.2 there and then 7.1 here. Do you combine those two for a 13.3 WAR already? Because if so, like, that's pretty damn good. And that's the thing, he's only 25, so you got to imagine, like, for another 10 years, he could put up numbers like this or better. So you'd think he probably can crack around 300 home runs. So you get a pitcher that hits 300 home runs, probably 1,000 RBIs, and a lifetime hitter that's close to 300. Like, that's very good as it is. But then what about if his pitching gets better and he's striking out close to 300, like somewhere between 200 and 300 each year? You could do that for another 10 years, if not longer. Then we're talking, 2,000 strikeouts at least. If he can work on these two, 2,000 strikeouts. Like, it's gonna be interesting to see how his career plays out. Alex Wood got his overall up to 82 and went in gold. Traded for him from the Dodgers. Didn't realize he's been around for 7 years. His picture is actually him with the Dodgers, which is surprising. Because well, I mean, my guess is it's an LA Dodger picture from one of these years. Then he played in Cincinnati, and then went back to LA. But either way, made 30. I don't know what his numbers were when he came across, but he was a solid pickup. Not what I necessarily need. Well, I mean, I needed starting pitching regardless. I needed a big name, like ace starting pitcher, and he was not that. But he was definitely a solid pickup. 34 appearances. He went 21-3, so that win-loss is pretty damn good. It's a great win-loss to have. 226 2/3 innings pitched, so he was able to go deep into games. Struck out 265, so that's a very large gap between his career high prior and then now. 3.41 ERA, that's respectable, and 1.17 WHIP is all right, pretty good. 7.1 WAR, I'll take that. Actually, Alex Wood really did help out big time on the pitching staff. Andrew Heaney's overall went up to 84. So he's knocking on the door of diamond. And he was okay. I think he had a shaky start too, but he eventually came around. 32 starts. That win-loss is really good, actually. 25-2. So you knew when he took the mound, you had a very good chance at winning. You don't see many people have 20-win seasons, let alone 25. 234 innings pitched. Struck out 310 as well. This is like Ohtani, but this is like what I expected Ohtani to be. Yeah. 3.27 ERA, 1.29 WHIP. That's actually really good. 7.2 WAR. I'd say Andrew Heaney comes in top 5 for Cy Young. Maybe top 3 because of this, but I'd say top 5 because the ERA and the WHIP. The ERA is pretty good. The WHIP could be better. The strikeouts are great. I think between the wins and the strikeouts, he gets top 5 and maybe top 3. Julio Torrejon's overall went up to 80, so Torrejon went gold. I'm surprised because Torrejon was having a terrible year and he came back around too. 31 starts, 18-6 record, pretty respectable. 217 and a third innings pitched. Struck out 242. That's a career high. Pretty good. 3.60 ERA, 1.37 WHIP. Like, yeah, he was my number 3 guy at first, and then dropped down to my number 4 guy. Or still my 3 guy, because I kept bumping Ohtani down, hoping maybe he'd come back around. But either way, good for a WAR 4.8. Yeah, I'll take that out of him. That's pretty good. I'm actually surprised. So the pitching actually the starting pitching wasn't as bad as I thought. So that's a pleasant surprise there. Fuck, I don't remember what it was. Oh, it was Bird Up. Yeah, I gotta send that to Dalty. I'm gonna go back to Time Hop. A year ago today. Make sure the sound's on. Okay. Send. Okay, so let's take a look at the position players. Max Stassi, backup catcher. So overall 1 up to 83. Good defensive catcher at least. Can't really hit too much. Only 29. Not really much room for improvement. Like, I don't see him going up anymore. The power numbers are okay, actually, for a backup catcher. And he did his job. 40 games. Member of the World Series Astros. So this is probably his second World Series ring. Excuse me. 40 games, 42 hits, 6 home runs, 21 RBIs, 302 average, good for a WAR, a backup catcher of 2.2. Again, backup catcher, yeah, I'll take it. David Fletcher, his overall went up to 87 and is diamond. He was on my bench all year. He's good for contact, not really for power, and turned into one of the best outfielders in the game, apparently. His plate vision's incredible. His discipline's okay. His batting clutch is really good. So this is a surprise. He's only 25 years old, so I think this kid's got pretty good potential, actually. What did he do for me? In 83 games, he had 92 hits, 10 home runs, 41 RBIs, stole 6 bags, 313 average. Good for a WAR of 2.4 from the bench. That's actually really surprising, in a good way. I'll take that. That's awesome. Good for him. Matt Thaiss started the year as my DH when Ohtani wasn't in the lineup, and then the game insisted on putting him at first base when Ohtani was in the lineup to bench Pujols, which I wasn't a fan of. Eventually, I found a way to work around that when I picked up Trevor Story. Against righties, he had a little bit of pop. That's about it. His overall went up to 68. He's 24 years old. B potential. I don't really see him getting any better though. Like maybe his power against righties is the only thing that would stand out as he progresses. But I mean, he did pretty solid for me. 92 games, 94 hits, 17 home runs, 68 RBIs. We're talking about a guy who wasn't in the lineup every day, and then turned into a bench player. Like he already wasn't an everyday designated hitter starting, but then he went on to become full-blown bench player. So he had 17 dingers, 68 RBIs. That's pretty good. 271 average. I'll take that. WAR of .3. Yeah, we'll take that. Michael Hermosillo. I feel bad for this kid because he just did not fit in here at all. Because of Upton, Goodwin, and Trout, and then on top of that, Ohtani being able to play the outfield. I wish I took advantage of that more. But so 25 years old, B potential, 66 overall. You know, decent, okay enough with contact. I shouldn't say decent. Okay enough with contact. Pretty good fielder, decent enough with all right speed, like pretty good speed. He was just straight up on the bench all year long. Still played in 80 games though. Got 282 at bats. 72 hits, 10 home runs, 36 RBIs, 7 stolen bags, 255 average. Good for a WAR of 1.1. You know what? Again, for a guy like him, I'm gonna be pretty satisfied with that. I'm happy with that. Andrelton Simmons. I feel bad for Simba here. His overall is 87, so he's back in the Diamond Club. His contact got better, and his power actually got a little better too. Plate vision's still incredible. Still one of the best fielders in the game. Not too good with the speed, not too good with the power. Unless you're facing a lefty, then you could, you know, go do a little thing here or there. So a decent enough hitter, but just didn't. In real life, I'd say his fielding is second to none. You know, and the gap between him and second is pretty wide. In the game, though, you can only be so good. So even though his fielding is really fucking good, Trevor Story's fielding is also really good. The difference is Trevor Story has a lot more speed and, for the most part, a much larger impact on offense. So Simmons got the short end of the stick. Still got to play in the lineup as a DH whenever Ohtani was not in the lineup. So he still played 120 games and still had 443 at bats. I mean, because granted, he didn't get swapped out till the trade deadline. He had 148 hits, 29 doubles, pretty good. 17 home runs for Andrelton Simmons, ties his career high. 67 RBIs is pretty good for him. And a 334 average is actually really good, even if he doesn't. I don't know if he qualifies or not. But 4.6 WAR is definitely respectable, worth the contract, obviously. If he qualifies for the batting average, like, statistic, that's going to be close to the top in the league. Not number one, but close to the top. If he qualifies. If he doesn't qualify, you know, he's still, obviously, it's not like that average is only there because he didn't have that many at-bats, because he still had a lot of at-bats. So my guess is he's still probably qualified. Brian Goodwin really turned into a gem. I wasn't expecting this out of him. Overall went up to 80. He turned gold. Fielding's alright. Speed's alright. And the hitting's pretty decent. I didn't think his hitting was going to be this good or make the improvements that it did. And especially having him in the leadoff spot for the most part of the year, in one of the top two spots of the lineup, really paid off. He had a great year. 135 games, 591 at-bats. He scored 120 runs. Almost had 200 hits. He had 194. Man had 46 doubles and 40 home runs, 113 RBIs, and a 328 average out in right field for a WAR of 9.7. I think Brian Goodwin's in the MVP conversation. I'd say he finishes top 5, maybe even top 3, because those are some very, very great numbers. Albert Pujols, this probably is his final year. His overall went down more. He's now in the 68 category, which I don't even believe is bronze. Still had a little bit of pop left in that bat against lefties. The plate vision's still there. The batting clutch is still okay. The discipline's going down. His fielding is going down drastically. His speed is just gone. Not that he really had a whole lot to begin with, but whatever's there is not anymore. But I mean, think about it. The man's 40 years old, and he had a full 20-year career, and he had what a year to go out on. He still played 135 games. He scored 80 more runs. He had 126 hits. He had 28 home runs, 78 RBIs, a 247 average, which is up from the last 3 years. These are all numbers. 28 home runs is his most home runs since 2016. 78 RBIs is down, but that's okay because he played lower in the lineup. His 247 average is up from the last 3 years. It's the highest since 2016. His on-base percentage went up from last year and is his highest again since 2016. Slugging percentage went up from last year, again his highest since 2016. OPS went up from last year, again his highest since 2016. So, you know, he showed that he's still the machine one last time. He had positive WAR, .2. He got a, 94.5 WAR on the career. Albert Pujols, again, so because this is probably his last year, again, 20 years. He came in 01, and his career high in home runs was 49 in 06. 49 in 06. He did have a 40 home run year in LA. And then again, he almost had 30 this year. I don't see him playing another year. If he does, I think he can still hit 16 home runs to crack 700. I think that might be the only reason he would come back for another year. Other than that, he's a surefire first ballot Hall of Famer. Probably not unanimous, but he is one of the absolute greatest players of all time, and absolutely one of the greatest hitters of all time. 3,000 hits, 3,300 hits for that matter. Cracked over the 3,000 hit mark with some room to spare now. 600 career doubles, 684 career home runs, so that does put him at 4th all time. Babe Ruth at 714 is above him. Hank Aaron at 755 or 750, whatever the fuck he had, I always forget. And then Barry Bonds with the asterisk up in first. I believe it's 755. Yeah, 755 was Hank Aaron. I don't know why I drew a blank on that. And then Barry Bonds, I think, was 762. So obviously, there's no way that he being Albert Pujols, get the all-time record at this rate. I mean, the man would have to play another 5-6 years and maintain this pace. If he played another 5 years and got 20 home runs each year still, God bless him to have a 25-year career and still play at 45. I don't see it happening, though. That'd be incredible. I think he'll settle for 4th. Maybe he wouldn't settle for being so close to 700. I don't know. But over 2,000 career RBIs as well. And a lifetime 297 hitter. The average right about 300. Like I said, almost 700 home runs, over 3,000 hits, almost a 300 career hitter, and a WAR of 94.5. That's one of the greatest of all time right there. He is still signed on for 1 more year, so maybe he would come back just to play, but I wouldn't be surprised if I saw him retire after that. Trevor Story, moving on. Trevor Story, the trade deadline acquisition, I don't know what his numbers were when he came across, but again, fielding is great, speed is great, hitting is pretty damn good, and against lefties, definitely great. Got his overall up to 97, so he's diamond, and like I said, I don't know what his numbers were when he came across, but he ended up producing for me. 150 games, 157 hits, 36 home runs, 109 RBIs, so he was 1 off his career high in home runs, but he was 1 over his career high in RBIs, stole 17 bags, 266 average, good for a WAR of 7.3, Trevor Story, worth the trade, we got the ring, he came through big time for me. Jason Castro was a huge surprise, got his overall up to 81, I shouldn't say a huge surprise. His overall's up to 81, so he went gold. His fielding's all right. I didn't realize I knew he had some sort of power somewhere because I knew he was on the Twins last year until Mitch Garver usurped him. And obviously, rightfully so, it's Mitch Garver. And I used Castro last year, and I did all right with him. I didn't know that his numbers against righties, his attributes were going to be that good, but I knew they were going to be decent. Didn't realize he's been around for 10 years and he's 32 years old, and I knew he played for Houston at one point. But yeah, Castro had himself a career year, which was awesome to see. 124 games. He had 119 hits, 22 home runs and doubles, 81 RBIs, 275 average, which is a career high except for 2013. So really great to see. Good for a WAR as a starting catcher, 6.5. When your everyday catcher gives you 20 plus home runs, 80 RBIs, and a 275 average, that's pretty good because catchers have their main job is to be there defensively and for their pitchers. So that's really good. Justin Upton. Upton went up to 85 and went diamond. And I'm actually surprised. He's been around 13 years. He's 32 years old. Fielding's not really there. Speed's not really there. His numbers went up though, offensively. I knew he was better against righties than lefties, but his power against righties really shined. And lefties, he's decent still. Like, it's not like he's bad against lefties. He's been around the block though. I knew he played in Arizona, Atlanta, he's played in Arizona, Atlanta, San Diego, Detroit. I don't know where he went that he got traded, unless it was LA. But either way, he's landed here. But he had a year. Justin Upton had himself a year. 143 games. He had 176 hits, 40 home runs, which is a career high, I believe. Yeah, 40 home runs, 127 RBIs, 320 average. That's the incredible part. He's never been that much of an average hitter. Like, he never hit for average too much. So 320 average is great. Good for a WAR out in left field of 8.4. I think Upton finishes top 7 for MVP. Actually, no, he could be a top 5 MVP candidate. And for that matter, looking it up, and I'd say he's got another maybe 2-3 years left in his prime here. So if he puts up numbers like he's used to putting up, he'll crack 2,000 hits, he'll crack 400 home runs, and 1,200, maybe 1,300 RBIs before he starts to hit his decline. And now that his average is up to 270 lifetime, I don't expect that to change too much. Maybe go down, not go up, I should say. And his WAR is 37.1. Justin Upton's approaching Hall of Very Good. Not Hall of Fame, but Hall of Very Good. We'll see how he goes for the next couple of years. Anthony Rendon. I'm going to do Rendon, then Trout last. Tommy La Stella's overall went up to 80, so he's in the Gold Club. La Stella was pretty good for me. 137 games. He had 168 hits, 30 home runs, 102 RBIs, both career highs by a long shot. 301 average. Good for a WAR of 6.5. Tommy La Stella, I'd say he's worth every penny. And this was an incredible year to have out of a guy who hit either first, second, or like 6th in my lineup. I'll definitely take that from him. Rendon, the free agent signing, got his overall up to 99, so he went diamond, and he's the best of the best. Fielding's okay. His arm strength's not there, but he made some stellar plays at third for me this year. Speed's not really there. But then you look at his offensive numbers. Clutch 99, discipline 92, vision is 83, and his lowest is his power against righties went down, or actually went up to 77. I thought it was higher than that before. But Rendon, overall, just a great hitter, one of the best in the game. And he went off 143 games, 175 hits, 40 home runs, that's a career high. 128 RBIs, that's a career high. 314 average. You know, I'd say better than last year. His average was down by 5 points. That's it. You know, but to get these right here mixed with that, good for WAR at third base of 5.9. I'd say Rendon, if last year was an MVP push, this year's definitely got to be top 5 for MVP. But if we're going to talk MVPs in 99 overalls, we're going to look at this guy here. Because what can't this guy do? His plate vision is the lowest thing at 65, and it went up. He's only 28 years old. His overall didn't move because you can't go past 99. But he can do it all. Look at it. It's Mike Trout. It's Mike fucking Trout. His fielding's great. Speed's great. His hitting's amazing. You know, it's Mike Trout. He's amazing. He's the best player in baseball. This is the best player in baseball. I love Mookie Betts, and Mookie Betts' 2018 was better than Mike Trout's best year until now. But Mookie Betts is not the best player in baseball. He's top 2, but he's not 1. Mike Trout is. Looking at Mike Trout's year, he has got to be the MVP without a doubt in my mind. 141 games. So, I mean, the man did miss 21 games. Can you imagine if he played all 162? This is about on par for Trout the last couple of years. 197 hits, 35 doubles, 12 triples, 56 home runs, a new career high. 148 RBIs is a new career high. 19 stolen bases, 362 average is a new career high. So my guess is his WAR is ungodly. 13.5. That's, I think, top 5 all time. Let's see. MLB highest WAR seasons. Position players. So looking at the leaderboards for most WAR in a single year for position players, Mike Trout having a 13.5 WAR this year would put him at second all-time behind Babe Ruth's 14.1 WAR in 1923. Although Mookie Betts did have that, I don't remember what the actual number was. I think it was like 12 something in 2018. What was Mookie's 2018 WAR? I gotta look back at that. No, it wasn't 12. It's 10.6. Was it 10.6? It's 10.6. Yeah. So like I don't get where that comes from because Mookie had a higher WAR than Trout in 2018. But either way, you look at Mike Trout, who is already like if Mike Trout retired right now, I'd say he's a surefire first ballot Hall of Famer. But here's the thing, dude's got at least another 7 years of this line right here, if not better, before starting to decline, barring injury or anything drastic. So really, you're looking at probably 10 more years, but at least 7 more years of this. We're talking about a guy who's threatening 700 home runs, excuse me. Easily 3,000 hits and probably pushing 4,000. Well over 2,000 RBIs, probably 2,500. And honestly, stolen base wise, like he could get up to the 300 or 400 mark and be in the 400 club, and a career average well above 300, and probably the most WAR all time. He's only been around 9 years. He's only 28. He's got a 92.3 WAR already. It's asinine. So let's take a look here. Let's see what we get. Hold on. Okay, first thing I want to do is look at this actually. Let's look at the calendar. I want to see how we did month per month and stuff like that. You know, just really solid stretches. And then June is where we lifted off, it seems. Yeah, July was even crazier. I mean, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So we had a 17-game winning streak before we lost a game to Texas. So July was our month. And then September, same deal. Looking at the postseason, the Oakland series was frustrating for just whatever reason. The New York series was fun. Again, in hindsight, it was very stressful in the moment, but like offense filled. 9-4, 7-8, 10-5, 7-4, 3-0. You know, like. And then the LA series was pitching fun, like pitching dominated for the most part, except for this. This was insane. Thinking about awards. Okay, so again, I said World Series MVP. I'm hoping is Pujols, with Ohtani and Trout being the other top two with him. Postseason MVP is going to be Trout, with I think Pujols second, and again I was hoping Ohtani third, but it might go to Rendon. Let's see, World Series MVP Albert Pujols in 2020. I love to fucking see that. The man hit 500, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, and had a lot of doubles, and scored a lot of runs. Only one player in the history of the World Series has ever received the award while being on the losing team. I don't remember who that is. I'll have to look into that. So yeah, I mean, World Series MVP, 3 rings, Pujols going out, I think, on top, like as on top as you can go. Wow, Pujols got postseason MVP too. Mike Trout wasn't even nominated. That's fucked. Trout deserved it, but I'll take it. So Pujols gets postseason MVP and World Series MVP. That's just downright. I mean, it's fucked when you look at what Trout and Ohtani did. But at the same time, it's awesome for Pujols, so I love that. Excuse me. Okay, let's see. Silver Slugger in the outfield. Upton got one, so that's cool. Goodwin got one, that's cool. And Trout got one. So we had 3 Silver Sluggers. That's awesome. I don't know if Bogarts deserved it at shortstop as much as I love Xander. He got it in 2019. I think he definitely deserved it then. But I think if anything, Lindor probably deserved it. I think it should be Lindor, Story, then Bogarts. Rendon got it at third base. Well deserved. No one at second base for me. That makes sense. No one at first base for me. Yeah. What? Oh, Matt Olson. Nice home runs. Catcher. Yeah. DH. Yeah. Gold Gloves. I'm not really expecting any Gold Gloves. Trevor Story finished in the top 3. Because Mike Trout's not a Gold Glove center fielder. That's the crazy thing. Like, he's a great defender, but he's not Gold Glove caliber, which is insane to think, but whatever. Yeah, no Gold Gloves. That's fine. Hank Aaron Award, Mike Trout, pretty easy. Rookie of the Year, I didn't have any rookies, really. Well, I mean, Ed Canning, but I don't know if he counts as a rookie. Reliever of the Year, well, at least they brought the award back now. I think they might have patched that. Batting title, Mike Trout got it, and by a large margin. So definitely no Cy Youngs. But again, Andrew Heaney, because he had 25 wins and 310 strikeouts, gets the Cy Young. But I guess, I mean, looking at the other candidates, like, I don't know if anyone, maybe he led the league in ERA. I don't know. I'm sure someone had a better ERA than him if I do some poking around. But we'll take it. Andrew Heaney, 25 wins and 310 strikeouts. That is a phenomenal, like an amazing, like top tier pitching performance. And the ERA is pretty solid too. Like, it's not bad, but I figured the ERA, someone would have a lower ERA with about the same strikeouts. MVP's got to be Trout. That's bullshit that Andrew Heaney wins the MVP over Mike Trout. The curse of Mike Trout. That's dumb. This game went from not valuing pitching at all to valuing it too much. Let me take a look at. No, that's just postseason. Let me take a look at some player statistics. Some people that might have pitched better than Andrew Heaney. Garrett Cole, I don't know. The win-loss is not that good. Didn't have nearly shy of the strikeouts by 50, or well, 49. ERA was a little bit lower, whip, whatever. I don't know. Maybe Snell. I don't know about Snell. No, not Snell. What about Morton? Morton, no. Shane Bieber's pretty good in these. The ERA and the whip are there. The win-loss is pretty close. Strikeouts are not, though. Kluber went down. Terrible. Lance Lynn usually goes up. Greinke? Probably not. No, definitely not. Verlander? Damn. Yeah, well, since I'm curious too, I'll look at the awards for the NL side of things too while we're here. So we're looking at I don't really care too much about these ones. I care more about that. This. I think Walker Buehler. I don't know actually. And then MVP went to Bellinger again. I think Yelich got robbed again. Yelich had a higher average, 2 more home runs, and just the RBIs weren't there. That's dumb. Whatever. That's it for the Angels. So the 2 things I have to do before we go is look at who's next. I believe it's the White Sox. Got 2 more underdogs to go. The first one is Chicago White Sox. What am I looking forward to with the White Sox? I think this is going to be an interesting White Sox run because I was hit or miss with the White Sox last year in their run, but I think the team is very different. The additions of Encarnacion and Mazzara should be fun. More breakouts from Yohan Moncada, Tim Anderson, drawing a blank, Eloy Jimenez, Luis Garcia, or Luis Roberts won the Rookie of the Year legit like every year that I've done these March to Octobers. So that'll be fun to see if I can do the same. Pitching, I know they've got Giolito. I think they have one other pitcher that's not bad. I can't remember. Do they have Dallas Keuchel or is that Cincinnati? I can't remember. I think it's Chicago that has Keuchel. I think I need to prioritize the bullpen. I know they have Alex Colomé and Kelvin Herrera, which I like Herrera. I can work with those 2. I need to work on starting pitching is my guess. Starting pitching, it's going to be pitching more prioritized than offense again. But I could use some help offensively, I'm sure, too. We'll see how that goes. And then finally is opening whatever packs I have. Alright, let's see what we got for packs here. So I got 3 packs, 3 Affinity packs, and the Angels pack. We'll do the Angels pack first. We're looking at Justin Anderson, Matt Andriese, Hansel Robles, and David Fletcher. Cool. I'll do these next. Again, not really expecting anything cool. I like Great American Ballpark. Ooh, I got a gold. I got Josh Donaldson. That's pretty cool. Nice. Wasn't expecting that. Target Field. Duncan Robinson. Holfacket. I don't know how to say that name. Peter Mooney. I'm also close to reaching level 100 / level 1 silver, so that'll be a nice pack to have. I'll probably reach that by the end of the White Sox run. That's 3 Bobby Pointers, damn. So then we got 3 regular packs. I gotta look into what the affinity packs are as opposed to the regular packs. Like, what's the difference? Man, Aaron Sanchez really fell off. Another Hofakit? I don't know. That name still. Getting a lot of Gold Stadium sounds. Oops. Sean Murphy. And then last but not least, Busch Stadium. Busch Stadium's okay during the day. Steven Gonzalez. Hey, I know a Steve Gonzalez, and I'm pretty sure it's Steven spelled the same way too. Jacob Hernandez and Brandon Bishop. Okay, so that's gonna do it. The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim have won their World Series. The best player in baseball, Mike Trout, has his ring. White Sox are next. Until next time.